Go ahead, say it now.
You in the grill pit, bitch.
One time, like this. For those who hop and make your one nigga straight loony after taking
who was accepted as a god in Europe long before the birth of Christ, accepted quite a few Africans as deities. Imhotep, this great African who was the world's first multi-genius.
This is SAF Moe, your prison lawyer. I want to welcome you to the Grill Pit. Thank you, doctor, for that introduction. I couldn't have said it any better myself. And I want to get into this. It's SAF Moe, your prison lawyer. It's SAF Moe, your prison lawyer. It's IGSTS. Grill Pit. And, man, I had to say something about this. I had to react to this. Raisha, Kengne, Midtown Atlanta shooter. I think it's a lot more to this case than what the media is allowing to come out, and even the stuff that they're allowing to come out. They're coming out with it to in all this confusion to distract us from what's going on. The first tape or the first video, the first instant I came up and made me want to talk about this story was her confronting the judge. And I want to play that real fast.
Odyssey, which matches the calendar. I don't have any legal arguments at this time.
No objection to the statutory form. If I may intervene.
Miss Kengne, please remain silent, ma'am.
All right.
Mr. Cho, no objection to the statutory form?
No objection to the statutory form. Yes, sir.
All right. Fair enough.
Your Honor, he's not my attorney.
Miss Kengne, you need to remain silent, ma'am.
Now this reaction between this interaction, Raisha and the judge, Mrs. Kengne, I should say, is very important because she's as you watch these so-called rappers in their court appearance with the judge, they're silent because they believe their attorney has the best interest in mind. They've been lied to, right? We're going to work this out. We're going to get you the best deal possible. She doesn't have an attorney at this particular time. And this conversation she's having right now really got me, I was impressed with her tenaciousness when it came to setting the records right. But you also see the judge trying to manipulate her into staying quiet on the record. And it's always the opposite when you're in court, right? He's acting as if he has our best interest in mind. And just listen to what he's saying.
Shortly. Ms. Kengne, it appears that you do not qualify for the public defender. You have assets or income that would preclude them from finding you qualified to be represented by the public defender. It is up.
Okay, if that's the case, why are you having this individual represent her in the case? Because he's right now, even though she's not with the public defender office, a public defender is speaking for her because the ritualistic nature of this system, right? Because she could actually fuck the record right now by what she's saying. He's saying it's to protect you. No, by her interjecting stuff on the record about the lawsuit, about the corruption, about all these things that's going on that's derivative of why she did what she did, can fuck the case right now. Because what they're going to do when they give her an attorney is cover all that up. Oh, it's not about the fraud. It's not about the harassment. It's not about the lawsuit. It's not about the ineffective system of this individual you gave. It's not about this lawyer you done gave all this money to, what's going on. You gave all this money to that you found out has a relationship with these individuals you're trying to sue, because this is how their system works. And this is the problem I have with these people who call themselves rappers and the individuals who go to the system. It's not anybody. It's a lot of individuals who have money who go into the system to allow the system to work. the way it's supposed to work, and you never know what's going on. She's not allowing it to happen, although they're trying to force it. Let's look at it.
Up to you, Ms. Kengne, to hire your own attorney, and I would encourage you to do that as soon as you possibly can. If you delay or stall hiring your own attorney, under Georgia law, it is possible that you could be deemed to have waived your right to an attorney under the case of Longo versus City of Dunwoody. I'll spare you the details on the case, but suffice it to say, Ms. Kengne, if you do not want Mr. Cho or Ms. Markowitz to represent you, then it is up to you to hire your own attorney sooner rather than later, okay, ma'am?
Judge, may I talk?
No, ma'am. If you have the right to remain silent, I would encourage you to use it. We are recording these proceedings.
Yes.
All it has to do with the fact is they're recording the proceedings. The recording is a record. This is a transaction of a slave, and they're trying to keep this record as pure as possible, because if she fucks the record, even if she's convicted, she can win back on appeals, because it's not her saying something that's inappropriate. It's them saying something that's inappropriate, or not saying anything. So right now he's supposedly informing her about her rights. Okay, whatever. Let's go.
And anything you say can be used against you, and the DA is right here paying attention with us, okay?
Scare time.
And I would still like to talk and clarify the information provided by Mr. Chill. I have not had a chance to talk to Mr. Chill this morning about the very case, and
So right now you could tell she doesn't really truly understand the legal system. Right? She's never been through this, and it's not her fault, but she thinks as though her representation in her civil matters should be similar to her criminal matters. 90% of the time, 100% of the time, the first time you see this public pretender, this bitch ass motherfucker come into the court, he's coming in the day of, telling you all I need you to do is say you're not guilty, and that. Because he's trying to set up the conflict. He's trying to get control of the case. Once he gets in control of the case, now he's bothering your life with this, right? So working with the state, working with the judge, and they're basically getting ready to plead you out. They're not working on your defense at all. And he doesn't care about whatever happens prior to it. He's trying to focus on the fact that there's two people that are dead. And he better hope that the third one makes it. Is all he's focusing on right now. I shouldn't even say right now. Once whoever gets the case gets the case.
About the facts of the case. Now, Mr. Cho informed me that I did not qualify. I am not sure what he based his assertion on, right? Now, I do not have...
Ms. Kengne?
Yes.
I appreciate your position, ma'am, and I'm glad you're thinking about these issues. But as far as their impact on today's proceedings, they're not going to have an... I am precluded from setting bond for you per court's delegation order. And so I'm going to deny bond. Your case will be heard at a later date before a different judge, either with Mr. Cho or a different attorney. You will have a great deal to say about whether or not it's Mr. Cho or a different attorney. But as far as my jurisdiction and authority to consider bond today, in light of the top count of murder, I am precluded by our delegation order from setting bond for you. So you are going to be no bonded for today. I encourage you to hire another attorney, or get Mr. Cho and Ms. Markowitz will be following back up with you. That will be the order today. Ms. Kengne, you are free to go.
May I ask you,
Come on.
Good luck, Mr.
That
Cho.
situation, and her trying to negotiate through this criminal justice system is you can already see that she's woke, right? She understands what's going on. She's totally woke, but not woke on the situation where she understands that the system is corrupt. And they really look at the judge. The judge is not. He's purposely not allowing her to say anything on the record and pushing her to get an attorney, right? He keeps pushing her to get an attorney. He immediately says, I'm being arraigned, but I can't even. You're not even going to hear me about bail. All you're trying to do is connect me with the crime, right? So with all that being said, I mean, it's a lot real fast for an individual who actually believes the system works. You can see in her situation, she believes somehow the facts matter. The facts so she's very. You can understand she's Mrs. Kengne is very intelligent. The problem with her is she believes the system actually works and cares. Situations like that have people go insane because there's everybody out here except for you knows the system does not work. Her origination coming to this country, most black folks in this country, although they don't admit it, understand this country is against them. For individuals coming in from other countries, it's purposefully for these individuals to make it seem as though the black man is lazy, he doesn't want to work, he's a complainer, and all these other things. But the one thing black folks know in this country is that this country does not work, or they're smart enough to get on the winning side. It's where you get your house Negroes. They're going to work with the system because they believe the system works. She's coming in from another country, believing that she's whatever, not truly understanding the plight of that these 400, 500 years of being in this country, the plight that we put up with and what we've dealt with, and believing somehow because she's not African American but African, it's truly a powerful understanding of who you are. But yet and still, these people gonna treat you like you're a nigger in this country. So let's just listen. This is good too, because this in turn, you have a black female sergeant who's been called in. Mrs. Kengne believes that someone has burglarized her house. The definition of burglary might be different in Atlanta, but my understanding of burglary, anytime anybody enters your threshold of your house, it's a burglary, right? If they wanted to make a claim against the individual, say it was a male in that house, they would be able to charge him with burglary from him, even if you push past the individual and enter their house, is a burglary. So the fact of the matter is that it does not look in their minds as if someone broke in. They don't want to entertain the fact that it's possible that someone has a key to get in, a master key to get in, and they've been in her house and they removed sensitive information Mrs. Kengne needs in order to prove her civil case, which she adamantly believes exists. And she has all the perspective of this matter because her profession is IT, right? And she has reported it. This is not speculation. This is actually where this case initiates at a couple of years ago. But let's just listen to the sergeant and try to figure this out.
First, it didn't have any forced entry.
It doesn't need to have a forced entry for burglary by law.
Let me talk.
Yes, go ahead.
All right.
Just making that point.
You spoke. Let me speak.
Yes.
All right. So, as far as the report says, it says there was no forced entry.
All right.
All right.
No signs, no visible sign of forced entry.
You have the report. You read it, right?
It said no visible sign of forced entry. Now, go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Thank you, ma'am. All right. So you saying that it needs right now? It's not showing as burglary, and you're saying, and you let me talk.
No, I thought it was a question. Go ahead.
It's not showing as burglary.
Okay.
And you're saying it needs to be changed as burglary. But if we don't see any forced entry, we cannot change it as burglary.
Okay.
I
reported a crime. I reported a crime. Yes.
Listen.
Yes.
All right. If you feel like it should be a burglary, and you have the information, the video, whatever you told me, that you have that could convince this officer that this was a burglary, I don't see no problem in her changing it so they could investigate it. Right?
Okay.
All right?
Yes.
There is no problem with that.
Go ahead.
That's the only thing I could tell you.
Okay.
And she was going to give you the number for burglary. They could read that report and talk to you about it, and you could give them that information about the burglary that they investigate.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Now, hold on a second. That information report, I specifically told her that it was a crime. I'm a whistleblower, and I told her that information in my safe was taken out, and when there was a flash drive that was dropped on the floor, and she told me sarcastically, well, it's your flash drive. I cannot say that there was a burglary because the flash drive could have, fell off.
What's up?
Although I like the music that she plays for a ringtone, the sergeant, I think this is very unprofessional, right? This is very super unprofessional. I know that's probably something going on. They gotta make sure these Negroes get incarcerated at their jails. But right now, you're dealing with someone who's very emotionally distraught because she's relying on all these systems and these institutions to help her, and now you got her. Like, it's just, to me, it's to the point where she's here doing her job, but she really doesn't give a fuck about what's going on, and it just tells you. So you got individuals. This is a highly sensitive situation, and when people start pushing blame on individuals' accountability, why these Kengne has allegedly killed these individuals and pointing fingers at her, they should point fingers at all these individuals around her that did not deal with this situation appropriately and utilized whatever the fuck to just sweep her underneath the rug, because that's frustrating as hell. I think that's how every individual incarcerated feels. She's feeling it now. Kengne.
Okay. All right. I got you. Okay. All right. Go ahead, man.
I'm taping.
But back up a little bit.
All right. Sorry.
Thank you.
And I know it's covered with personal space, so I just wanted to take a close up. All right. So now you're telling me that the report is not updated, and you're not going to update it. You're not going to investigate as a crime. I'm saying no. Let me finish as well. I'm saying it's a burglary. I'm saying it's a burglary. By law, what they did is a burglary. It does not need to have any sign of broken entry, right? Because the board members have, the management has a copy of the keys on file, which I told Officer Caleb as well. Now I am asking you, when a citizen, right, of the United States of America calls the police and tells the police that
exactly where she went wrong. You're not I guess you're a citizen. I get see all these things, and I think this right now shows you this picture right here shows you the difference between individuals who come over here from Africa and individuals who've lived here as African Americans and their interaction with the system, right? Somehow Mrs. Kengne believes she's at certain rights, like her word means something to anybody, and just because you want it to be a criminal investigation, it's not a criminal investigation, and no one believes that. They don't understand your ethical, moral understanding that you're, by being a whistleblower, you're attempting to correct the system that's corrupt. That more than likely those individuals knew what was happening, and they thought that you were going to play ball with them. I mean, this is probably the makings of a Lifetime movie right now, or something on Oxygen. But I mean, she doesn't. Kengne doesn't fit the complexion of the persons necessary for that type of movie. But I'm sure they can find somebody to play her. Let's keep it rolling.
Someone broke into my home, right? They opened the safe. They brought.
Can this sergeant be more disinterested and disconnected to the conversation? I mean, come on, man. I mean, I'm sure they're going to replay this back on what things not to do when you're taking a report from a concerned and air quotes citizen.
They broke the safe, opened the safe, took evidence that I had in my safe, and dropped the flash drive on the floor, and they left.
My question is, how much does this police officer's behavior contribute to the situations that occurred later on? I'm sure they're going to say none, and it's exactly business as usual. But they have to take some accountability.
At the airport right now, where officers took the shooter into custody in the last.
The safe, opened the safe, took evidence that I had in my safe, and dropped the flash drive on the floor, and they left. The beacon management services and the board members have access to the keys to my unit. Now you're saying that the officer who's responding to that crime, to that call, is not going to document it as a crime just because she did not even try to investigate whether there were any signs of forced entry or not. She did not even look at the logs.
So I mean, this is hilarious. I mean, I'm hoping the sergeant doesn't put this on her LinkedIn video to establish her professionalism. You know, like hire me. I'm sure. I mean, it really. I feel as though she's doing an excellent job based on how they. I mean, she's not even feigning the fact that she's interested in what she's saying. This lady is in the process of, in her mind, getting ready to blow up, because this is the relationship she's got with the system, attempting to do something she believes she should do, which blow a whistle on something that's going on that she finds ethically immoral. But she's dealing with all these people around her, and all these individuals around her happen to be Caucasians that she's dealing around with this ethical, moral compass question, the reason she blew the whistle, and she can't figure out why nobody cares. Okay, she hasn't been in this country long enough.
Are you saying that it would not be called a crime?
93, I copy that. All right, ma'am, like I told you before.
Yes.
In order for the officer, I will not be able to change it for you. Definitely. Okay. The officer will have to do it.
What does it say now? Listen, what does it say now?
I let you talk.
Yes.
I let you speak, and I listen to you.
Okay, you did.
Now, please,
okay, good.
let me.
All right.
I will tell you straight up, and then you will go ahead and do what you have to do.
Yes.
I'm telling you that for it to be changed to a burglary, you need to talk to a burglary investigator.
All right.
All right? The burglary investigator will determine if it's a burglary or not, and if it needs to be changed, and if it needs to be investigated. All right?
What happened to the prints?
They will let you know. They will let you know if anything further needs to be done. They will call you. They will ask you about all the information that you're asking me, which I cannot answer.
All right.
Right? And then they will further investigate if they need to.
All right.
Okay?
All right.
All right.
So now what I need, right, is to know what happened to the evidence that she collected on the scene of the crime.
Most likely it's in property as evidence.
All right. So now I had confirmation that they were changing the report. I have not seen the changes. I've only seen the initial report that was provided to me.
Okay, I'm going to say it one more time, and that's it, okay?
All right.
She will give you contact information for the burglary unit.
Okay.
They will determine if it is a burglary. Okay. And if it is a burglary, they will change the status as far as from a non-crime to a burglary.
Okay.
After they get all the information, okay?
All right. I will take that road, and whatever happens, happens.
Okay. Have a good day.
You too.
That's prophetic. It's prophetic. It's prophetic, right? This is prophetic. She says, listen to what she says.
Unarmed to a burglary.
Okay.
After they get all the information. Okay.
All right. I will take that road, and whatever happens, happens.
Okay.
Goes down in history as one of the most prophetic. But it's all this conversation and her relationship with the system is indicative of how most individuals feel. And in this situation, you have a black on black situation. Her coming in as a sister, you would think that she would have more empathy for the situation, but the system's working for her, right? System's working for the sister. What I want to read, or what I want to make a point of bringing out, is the background, the background to what's going on. Okay, we have a situation where BDO Leverage, their relationship with Beacon Management Services, and the 1280 West Board membership in the condominium that where she lives, Mrs. Kengne, in order to gain unauthorized access to her home, she believes that individuals were given keys to her house to allow them to come in and break into her safe and then extract information. Now, this could easily be proved, right? Through fingerprints, to all this forensic shit they can utilize to go find Ashley's killer. But right now it becomes these like they really don't want to do it. They really don't believe what she's saying, and it's the police tactics of automatically coming to a determined understanding of the situation, right? But like I said, I keep playing that her last words to the officer. Now I don't know the time in between that conversation until these individuals until she went to go take care of business on the individual. She thought that she was going to put, she goes to law enforcement to have them work the system, figure out the system, that she's actually go to the system for help, that she feels as though there was no help given. And then she takes matters into her own hands. I guess if it was a white man who was going after a black individual on some vigilante shit, it'd be perfectly okay. This situation's a little bit different. So let's just dismiss. So she gets the name of the Midtown shooter. That's who she is. Mrs. Kengne is the Midtown shooter. There's a lot of there's a lot of news coverage on her now. Here's just one instance of the news coverage. What I'm attempting to backdrop into and figure out is who is Mrs. Kengne. Who is she? She's 34 years old. She's a graduate of Georgia State University in business. She receives a master's degree in information systems and audit control. So at this particular point, I feel like she is an expert. Whatever claim she's bringing should have some weight. As far as the civil lawsuit is concerned, she's educated in the sense of understanding systems and business, but she doesn't understand criminal justice. This is why SAF Moe, your criminal lawyer, and IGSTS exists. It's specifically because this is the disconnect. She believes that somehow her word means something. It doesn't mean anything. So in the profession of accounting and financing, was a treasurer of the Delta Epsa Ida DEI, some sorority in college while pursuing her bachelor's degree. According to her LinkedIn profile, she was a CEO and president of the company named Kengne Corp for 4 months. So that's who she is. That's who she wants people to believe she is. That's her story, professional story. Let's go a little bit further into that's like the actual case itself, because we've already looked at her first appearance in court, and her first appearance in court is truly almost a playback to her her appearance with the sergeant and trying to explain her situation. In the back of her mind, she believes that she's right, which she may or may not be. I don't know about what she alleged happened with this fraud with these companies. The issues that she had prior, but because they all the negative, all the issues that she had prior, because they make a big issue that she on the fact that she at the time of the actual incident, she really had no money. That her lights and electricity was off. She had no money. She had very little money in her bank account. She was going through hell financially, trying to get herself out of the situation, and believing that these individuals, all this bad stuff that was going on, is the fact of the matter is she started to blow a whistle on this company that's committing fraud, and I believe her. Don't know her, but I believe her. I believe that she just didn't wake up one day and decide to be crazy. It's the fact of the matter is her conversation is not being heard because she's dealing with people who are in positions of power who are able to make certain things happen. She just doesn't understand her position in this country. And it's going to be problematic. But let's check this out.
First, we have new information tonight about the movements of the suspected Midtown shooter. Atlanta police have charged Raisa Kengne with the killing of 2 people and wounding another Monday afternoon in 2 different locations. Good evening, and thanks so much for joining us tonight. I'm Tom Haynes.
I'm Courtney Bryant. Police arrested her at the Atlanta airport just hours after the shootings, but now we've learned she made another stop, possibly looking for another target. Fox 5's Claire Sims joins us live at Atlanta Police Headquarters, and Claire, investigators now confirming they have video of the suspect at that 3rd location.
Yeah, a cab driver told Fox 5 that he took Kengne to a home in Midtown. Now investigators here at Atlanta Police say they have surveillance images of her wearing that now infamous black and white top, standing on the front porch of her former attorney. Just minutes after she allegedly shot 3 people in Midtown Monday afternoon, Raisa Kengne got into a checker cab and searched through some paperwork before giving the driver the address of a home near the Ansley Golf Club, about 1.5 miles away. We are not sharing the location, but Fox 5 has confirmed the home belongs to Michael Sullivan, an attorney with the Atlanta law firm Finch McCraney. According to their website, Sullivan is a partner at the firm who represents whistleblowers. And court documents show Kengne named Sullivan in the 500-plus page lawsuit she filed earlier this year against her condo building, her former employer, and her former attorneys. In the legal filing, Kengne claims Sullivan agreed to represent her in a whistleblower lawsuit in June 2021. Months later, the lawsuit alleges Sullivan informed Kengne they did not have enough evidence to pursue the case and could no longer represent her. Kengne went on to claim that Sullivan and his colleagues failed to maintain attorney-client privilege, quote, at every peril to themselves. It's not clear exactly why she went to Sullivan's home Monday afternoon, but the 2 victims Kengne allegedly killed that day, Wesley Freeman and Michael Shinners, were also named in Kengne's lawsuit. When no one answered the door, Kengne got back into the cab and headed to the airport, where Atlanta police took her into custody. We have reached out to Sullivan's attorney for a comment, but have not heard back. Live at Atlanta Police Headquarters, Claire Sims, Fox 5 News.
All right, so we know there's it's something going on. We know that she's got a gripe. Stop representing her for whatever reason. We don't know what the situation was and why. You can put all the legal terminologies in it or whatever, but she felt as though there was some type of relationship between that law firm and what was going on. There was a conflict of interest, and that's why I've always pushed individuals to learn the law, specifically because when you rely on them, a lot of times there's further interest that individuals don't know about that exists between the law firm and whoever you're disputing, whether it's a wrongful death, whatever it might be. They have inner workings. It's a conflict of interest, but yet still they're playing an end game. So if state of Minnesota is probably the best example of this good old boy network when it comes to lawyers, right? You try to file a claim against someone who's done an injustice against you, to find out that they won't represent you, to find out eventually that they're all in this good old boy network with politicians, police officers. They all start to straddle the same type of fence. And of course, you might have an excellent lawsuit against them, but to find qualified representation, because even if you get somebody who's willing to represent you in your court filing, who's to say that that individual isn't throwing a case for further benefits? And that's what goes on. The reason I went through this long story is because that's what's going on in a lot of these criminal cases, right? Where you have the defense attorneys and you have the prosecutor, and you have the judge, and they're selling off these bodies in order for them to get for further political livelihood, prosperity, jobs, security. To play the game, and to play the game. This is SAF Moe, your prison lawyer. To play the game. The game is she doesn't understand. Being a whistleblower, being a tattletale, is the worst position you can find yourself in a place like Georgia, and a place like Minnesota, and a place like California, because it's all about them doing what they need to do behind present this face more ethical. We do background checks. We don't hire felons. We're pro justice. At the end of the day, they don't even understand what the word justice means. And she's fighting this, and this, I don't know what brought her to the United States. I can only assume that in her mind, she thought that this country represents whatever that's been these lies, and that she could come here and find some form of prosperity. And she did until she didn't want to play their game, right? She wanted to call them on their bullshit. Let's just check out this next video on her. Another video. I tried to avoid as many of the videos that paint her as this individual, this midtown shooter, only trying to figure out why she just made the decision she made. Understandably, she didn't watch IGSTS, because you're going to do life in prison now for killing these people to prove a point that now is truly going to be swept underneath the rug right now.
A lot of twists and turns tonight, so speculation on how the alleged shooter knew the victims are circling right now. Tonight, investigator Rebecca Lindstrom found some court filings that may offer some clues here.
Raisa Kengne acted as her own attorney, filing hundreds of court documents the past 2 years, seeking justice against claims of harassment and fraud. And today, we read all of them. By the time police arrested her, court records claim she was fighting to stop foreclosure on property in Douglasville, get her power turned back on. And while she did have her condo, as of May, she said she had less than $3,000 to her name and no income. She blames these problems on two groups: BDO, the accounting firm where she worked as an IT audit manager until last November, and the property management company for 1280 West Peachtree, where she lived. Let's start with BDO. Kengne claims she found repeated evidence that audits were not being performed correctly. She claims she told her boss, Wesley Freeman, one of the men killed in the shooting. Kengne says the company ignored her concerns, and when she refused to drop it, started harassing her. That's where the property management company comes in. She alleges they allowed someone to use a copy of her key to her condo to break in, steal things, and intimidate her. The other person killed was Michael Shinners, who worked as the general manager for that condo association. Kengne did report these alleged break-ins to police. She states in her lawsuit that an officer was sent out to review security footage and dust for fingerprints. She lists 3 incidents in her lawsuit from last year, but it wasn't until a week ago that she started posting her allegations and frustrations on LinkedIn.
Someone broke into my home, right? They opened the safe, they broke the safe, opened the safe, took evidence that I had in my safe.
Kengne has been trying for a while to get someone to listen to her claims. She actually reached out to us in April.
So with that said, that's the reasons why I did this video. And I did it so quick because it's obvious. It's obvious that nobody gave a fuck about this lady. It was reasons for her to snap. Not to say that it was reasons for her to snap. You've been told the system works in the system. You believe that you have a legitimate claim. You have a legitimate claim. To go to the newspapers, to file legal papers against individuals and have that not amount to anything, to go then to news, to probably more than likely talk about it amongst individuals, to all these different areas you're going to a law firm that denies your claim, whistleblowing in favor of the company, to have your property or have your house broken into. I mean, we can keep going on and on and on. It's just the frustration that she has in this matter. I mean, and like I said, I started this first initially with her confrontation with the judge, and the judge not allowing her to get on the record and state her claims, make her allegations. And that's something that I know that's super important in any criminal case that you're in. I started with that. That attracted me to the story. After that, to see the police officer, to see the news story. Now after the murders, they're trying to not present her case, not checking further into the lawsuit, all that stuff's getting swept underneath the rug, and it's what's initiated this death of these individuals, right? It's sad across the board. I keep pushing individuals to watch, support the channel, and you can just see that what happens when you don't really understand how these people view you, how the system works. It's not about the facts at all right now. Like I said, when she does get an attorney, whoever that might be, which more than likely might not be anybody, because she doesn't understand the law. She has a grip on reality of how things should look. But how things should look and what the law is different, because her whole situation is that she's going to believe that she needs an attorney, and you're going to need at least a paralegal to follow the paperwork you need to file in order to stay relevant in court without them bulldozing over you. But in this situation, because you don't know the law, and if someone does come to your aid, are they doing you a service? So she's in such a bad situation trying to do a good thing, initially whistleblowing. And it's not going to turn out well at all, because she's so passionate about what she believes, and she's educated. Sometimes being a fool works out a lot better, right? Sometimes, in this situation, sometimes being a fool makes things a lot easier. The biggest trouble she's having, and I think the biggest trouble we all have, is, first of all, nobody really cares and coming to an understanding. The second part is they already knew what was going on, and they already knew, and they know what's going on. They knew the system. They knew everything. What she's saying, I'll end on this. SAF Moe, your prison lawyer, and I'm gonna end on this. I believe what she's saying, 100%. I don't even know. I'll go out. I'll write a check on believing what she says. And I believe that it was a constructive, concerted effort to keep whatever information she had out of the public eye. I believe that. I believe that everything that she attempted to do, she followed every possible route she could. She's just a well-spoken individual, and a lot of individuals, they don't like that, right? Educated, well-spoken individual with a master's degree, they don't like that. So you end up in prison. That is, I say support Mrs. Kengne. I say that she's innocent until proven guilty. There's no question of whether or not she shot those individuals. The problem is, at this particular juncture, is whether or not, how relevant were those facts that she had come up with, and why didn't anybody care about what she brought? Why, so I guess it's such a deep question, and it's sad to me. It's sad in my perspective, is because she was attempting to do something right. Now she's sitting in a cell, frustrated, because she tried to do something right and thought that what she was doing, the world would be appreciative to her. But now she's in a jail cell. It's SAF Moe, your prison lawyer. It's SAF Moe, your prison lawyer. SAF Moe, your prison lawyer. Subscribe, support, watch. Appreciate all the love. Appreciate everybody that's been checking us out. Trying to keep it as relevant as we possibly can. Shout out to my man Ron B in the middle. Shout out to my family. Shout out, like I said, to everybody supporting us. A lot of events coming up toward the end of the month and at the beginning of the first of the month. Try to be there, try to support, do what I can. Free my guy, Derek Jordan. Talk to Richie Rich. He's doing a documentary. He's going to documentary on his life story. We're going to hopefully, well, more than likely, we'll be one of the first individuals airing that and reacting to that. Just doing things, making things happen. Trying to be at least the voice of reason in this criminal injustice system. Still got my demo coming up with the gonna do Candyman, Spell, Dope, and a new Prey movie that's coming up. It's so much stuff going on that's coming up, and I'm trying to put that together. But I'm also trying to work some Michael Brown into that conversation too, because his situation is really, really, really a core tenor within that conversation about America and about the criminal justice system and the Black experience in America. So just stick and stay. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it coming. This is SAF Moe, your prison lawyer. SAF Moe, your prison lawyer.
This is SAF Moe, your prison lawyer. This is SAF Moe, your prison lawyer. This is SAF Moe, your prison lawyer.
You're in the motherfucking grill pit.
Our distinguished time to receive our distinguished guest. He is more than a scholar, he's more than a lecturer, he's more than an activist. He is a legend, a living legend amongst our people. He is one of the elders of the African community. He has given his life to study as well as teaching our people about their great past and the prospects for an even greater future. He is a man whose presentation of history is penetrating and powerful, and he has a way of bringing history alive. And I think that those of you that have heard him before and those of you that are going to hear him tonight know that there's no one that is quite able to put history or describe it in quite the way that our lecturer tonight does. It is with great pride and pleasure that I present to you, and I also ask that you receive with as warm a reception as you can receive